Welcome to the Sports is Life podcast. I'm James Myers. This is my very first episode, so we're starting from scratch. Listen, guys, I know there's a lot of podcasters out there, but I'm going to tell you why I'm different. I'm going to talk about all your teams out there. I know a lot of podcasters do not do that. They want to just talk about the main teams. They don't want to talk about everyone's team. I know a lot of fans out there, including me, want to hear all their teams talked about. So that's where I'm going to try and separate myself as a podcaster and hopefully can move up and get some viewers. And I appreciate you guys tuning in and subscribe again at Sports is Life on my YouTube channel. I would appreciate it very much. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into all 32 NFL teams. I'm going to make a video about each NFL team starting from alphabetical order. We're going to start with the Arizona Cardinals, and we're just going to talk about their record last year, just who they signed this year, what makes them different, maybe going into the season, wins, losses. We're going to go over on their upcoming schedule. Schedules are out, obviously. We're going to talk about their free agency additions, losses, how they did in the draft, and then at the end we're going to break down game by game. We'll go super in depth. We'll go wins, losses, and just where they'll end up at the end of the season. So let's get into it. So again, all right. So let's break down the Arizona Cardinals. Head coach Jonathan Gannon, very shocked at. I was actually very shocked at how well he did as a head coach for them. I know they were 4-13 last year. I thought they were going to be just an absolute dumpster fire. If you really watched that team last year, they were actually in a lot of games. First few games, they played Washington. I think it was Pitt. They beat Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh ended up making the playoffs. I mean, they beat some teams they weren't even supposed to. They beat Dallas at home. They had Josh Dobbs for, 5-6 games of the season. Then he goes to Minnesota because he's killing it in Arizona, and they needed a quarterback because the Cousins going down. This team was very surprising last year. If you're a bettor, they were covering some games. I had them a few times last year on betting. I do betting as well. So let's talk about it. They were 4-13. Who they added in free agency, they kind of revamped the O-line and D-line a little bit. They went out and got center Evan Brown from Seattle, Jonah Williams from Cincinnati on the O-line. So that's going to really revamp their O-line. They re-signed Greg Dortch. They lost because of losing Marquise Brown. They added Sean Murphy-Bunting, kind of on the back end of his career, the corner. DJ Dallas from Seattle, kind of a scat back, but running backs aren't super, super valuable in the NFL. And then they added linebacker Mack Wilson, not another big name. They didn't add a bunch of big names. If I'm being honest, they really didn't. I pull for this team. I mean, I do. I'm not a fan of them, but I do like watching them play. I'd like to see them be good. I feel like Arizona is always that team that's slept on in the desert. No one really ever. They never get love. I just feel like nobody talks about them very much. They're really more on the low market side in the NFC West. They've been at the bottom for a few years now with Seattle, obviously San Francisco, and the Rams being in Super Bowls all the time. San Francisco, obviously, last year against the Chiefs. And then departures, free agency. They lost Leki Fotu, the defensive tackle from the Jets. That was a big loss. I know he played very well for them on that defense that was so-so. They lost Isaiah Simmons during the season. They traded him for basically nothing to the Giants. I think it was like a 6th-round pick just to clear up cap space. So, they're in a rebuild. Let's not kid ourselves. They are. But I do think they will be competitive. They have a lot of guys that people are sleeping on, not a bunch of big names, but they play well together, and I think Coach Gannon for them he's got them playing as a team, and he's got them believing that maybe they can do something this year. So in the draft, obviously, their first pick was Marvin Harrison, the receiver from Ohio State. You got to get Murray. You got to get Kyler some help. He did, he only played, 5-6 games because of the ACL injury. It took a while for him to come back. Then they had a ton of picks. They had 12 overall draft picks, so they really, really wanted to go young and, like I said, rebuild. They got Darius Robinson, the defensive lineman, in the first round as well. I really like that pick. They went on got they went secondary in line a lot in this draft. I noticed Trey Benson, the running back from Florida State, in the third round. They had 4 third-round picks as well. Isaiah Adams, the guard from Illinois. They got another guy from Illinois, and Tip Ryman, I believe, Ryman or Riemann, the tight end from Illinois as well. And then Elijah Jones, the cornerback from Boston College. Yeah, I think this team so far, that if you're a Cards fan, you're not expecting big things this year, obviously. Let's not kid ourselves. But, Kyler's Kyler. I don't know about him at times. I'm sure as Cardinal fans, people out there don't know as well if they're really sold on him. He's getting a lot of money from the team. Had a couple good years. He's had a couple good years. If I'm being realistic, he's not. He's so fat. He's a dual threat, obviously, but he's not. I just don't know if he's the guy that's going to take you over the top and get you to the playoffs and get you to the promised land in that Super Bowl since Kurt Warner was there, and Larry Fitzgerald. That's what they're hoping for. And Marvin Harrison obviously revitalize that. Get him and get Marvin and Kyler on the same page, and hopefully they can get Kurt Warner and Larry Fitzgerald back like that. So, I don't know. It's this team just looking to move forward. I do hope. Well, I do like the O-line additions. I think it's going to be great for Kyler. But overall, let's break it down. Let's go down the schedule. So, week 1, they're at Buffalo. It's brutal. They have a very tough schedule, by the way, before we start this. Just wanted to lay that out there. I think about half the teams on their schedule made the playoffs last year. They're in a very tough division with the Rams, Niners, and Seahawks. So, yeah, week 1, they go to the Bills. I think they're a touchdown underdog. I got them losing that, so I got them at 0-1. And then they have the Rams at home. And for some reason, every time they get LA at home, they just Sean McVay has their number. I don't know what it is. They cannot defend home field against the Rams to save their life. So I got them going 0-2 in week 2. Then week 3, they get Detroit at home. I think by that time, Detroit will probably be 2-0, and it may be a trap game for Detroit. They could be looking ahead. I don't know their exact schedule off the top of my head, but they could be looking ahead, Detroit. So this could be a game where Arizona sneaks up on them and gets them. I'm going to give the Cardinals the dub on this one. I'm going to have them going 1-2, just like last year, this past season with the Cowboys. The Cowboys were hot. I think they were 2-0 or 3-0, sleeping on Arizona. I think they were a 2-touchdown underdog in that game. I remember they were in Arizona, and Arizona beat them outright as a 2-touchdown underdog. So I noticed when this team is doubted a lot, they fight. They keep it close. And I like the Bills game. I think week 1. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think that's going to be a lot closer than people think. Then they go. So they're 1-2. They go week 4. They have Washington at home. The Commanders. Jaden Daniels, rookie quarterback. I'm going to give Kyler and the Cards the win. 2-2. Then week 5, they go to San Francisco. Just had a lot of struggles in San Francisco. I'm going to give the Niners a dub. NFC representative of the Super Bowl last year, obviously, if you're a football fan or you're just sleeping under a rock. Let's not kid ourselves. So, yeah. And then week 6, so we got them 2-3 going into week 6. They go 2 Green Bay. I'm going to give them the loss. Jordan Love, I think they'll be too much. I think Green Bay is going to be a very good team this year. So I got them going 2-4. That's a tough place to play. West Coast to East Coast travel. Got to go to Lambeau. Then week 7, the Monday Night Football. Their only Monday Night Football game against the Chargers. They're at home. I got them losing that one as well. I think Harbaugh's gonna have the Chargers better. I think Harbaugh will have them ready for that game. Off a short week too, traveling again from Green Bay back home. I got them going 2-5, going into Week 8 at Miami, and then I got them losing at Miami. Yeah, don't overthink this one. As if Tua's there and the boys with Hill and Waddle, and it's gonna be tough. I think Arizona will give them a game though. I do believe that. I think it could be a game they're slept on again. I don't think Miami's this overpowering team like everyone thinks. I think Miami is going to take a step back this year. I think they're gonna be an average football team. So I think Cards play them tough, but they lose a close one. So they go drop to 2-6. Then they get the Bears at home, rookie quarterback Caleb Williams. I'm gonna give them the dub. So they go to 3-6. I think Caleb Williams. It's going to take a while for him to adjust. Obviously, rookie, unless we get this rare C.J. Stroud like last year. I just don't see it in Caleb Williams. So I got them going 3-6, beating the Bears. Week 10 versus the Jets at home in Arizona in the Big Toaster, like Chris Berman says. I got them losing. I think it's going to be very hard for them to score. That Jets defense will be relentless. As long as Rodgers is healthy and playing, I think the Jets by that time, week 9, I think that offense will be clicking. They're going to have a lot of reps. Obviously, 9 games under the belt with Rodgers, unless they have their bye. I don't know. I don't know their schedule off the top of my head. But I do think they'll lose that. So I got them going 3-7. And then they go into the bye week 11 at 3-7. Go to Seattle. This is where I have them winning off. So they'll have 2 weeks to prepare for this game at Seattle, divisional rival. For some reason, too, Arizona at Seattle, they always go in there and play tough. So I'm going to give them the dub. They're going to be 4-7, leaving Seattle, leaving the 12th man. Then they go to Minnesota. I'm going to give them another W here. They get to 5-7. They're going to play either, I think by that time, week 13, I think it's going to be J.J. McCarthy. Minnesota, no, not doing it for me. I think Arizona's a better team, actually, this year. I think Arizona will finish better than Minnesota. I think they're going to be awful. They're in a rebuild. Sam Darnold is not the answer. Jefferson gets paid. I get it. He wants his money, but I think it really getting all that money is going to limit the free agents they're going to get and the team, and I think they're going to be trash for a while. Minnesota, frankly. Then they get Seattle at home. I'm going to give them another dub. They're going to get to 6-7. 6-7. Beat Seattle twice this year in surprising fashion. I think Seattle's going to take a step back. I think this may be the year Pete Carroll goes, hey, Gino, maybe you're not not Pete Carroll, I apologize. They got the defensive coordinator from Baltimore as their head coach now. I think new coach wants to establish his own culture. Gino, they're not. I don't know if Gino's the guy. I really don't. So 6-7, and then so they're at 6-7, and then I got them playing New England at home, and I think they win again. I think they rally off 4 straight. So I think I got them going 7-7, and then this is where I have their trap game. Yes, I know. It's Carolina. It's at Carolina. I got Carolina beating them. And I think this is going to be the ultimate trap game. Cardinals are going to come in hot. They're going to feel great after winning 4 in a row. They're going to feel untouchable. And they're going to go into that game looking ahead because they got the Rams in LA the next game. Could possibly be fighting for an NFC wildcard, last hopes. But I got them looking ahead. I got them losing this game to Bryce Young. I don't think Carolina will be as bad last year. They win 1-2 games. Can't really get much worse. So, I got them losing that game. So 7-8. Then they go to LA. I got them losing that as well. I think by that time, Rams will be in contention, possibly for the division. Stafford looked really good at the end of last year, losing that heartbreaker in Detroit. As long as he's healthy, I think the Rams will be fine. I think they'll get in the playoffs. So, I think the Rams ultimately eliminate them. They fall to 7-9. And then they go Week 18 versus San Francisco. By that point, it's going to be tough to determine, hey, what are the Niners at that point? Are they playing for a playoff spot? Are they playing for the 1 seed, 2 seed, home field? Can they move up? Are they out? So I'm going to give them the loss as well on that. I just can't. I can't give them the win. So they're going to finish 7. I got the Cardinals going 7-10. Major improvement from last year. 3 more wins. Last year, again, I mentioned they were 4-13. I think this year they go to 7-10. I can tell you guys what the bookmakers are making their season win totals this year for the Cardinals. Give me 1 second. Right now, it's 6.5 wins is their season win total. So yeah, if you're a betting person, take the over. I recommend it, but hey, so I think it's gonna be right around that line, that 6-7 line. I think that's what they're gonna finish at, 6 or 7 wins. That's the Arizona Cardinals in a nutshell, guys. So yeah, we have them going 7-10. Next, we're gonna break down the Baltimore Ravens. Again, we're gonna go alphabetical order, all 32 teams, breaking them down, predictions, free agency, departures, blah 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 blah. Now it's fun stuff, guys. I promise. Okay. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Sports is Life. I would really appreciate it. Give it a like, and I'll see you for my next video.